What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, and we're getting here ready to look at the S&P 500 to see what happened today with the Fed. We have some things that we want to look at. We want to sum up what the Fed said, what it all means. We want to look at what it really means, but most of all, we want to look at the charts and see what is in store now. Now, you could see earlier this morning, we did take out overnight the resistance over at 28.89 and flip that intraday into support. And since then, it has been off to the races. Now, a couple of things. First of all, today, let's get into what the Fed discussed, what it all means, so that we could look at what it means for our trading. Listen, the Fed basically said that there's a lot of uncertainty ahead. The economy is going to really take a lot of support from all of us. They do think that they're going to need to act again, but they're going to be there. Basically, what this means is that no matter what the Fed put is in play, if there's any sign of trouble, they're going to deliver more. Powell hinted very strong of this and wanted everyone to know that the Fed is there to do what needs to be done in order to protect the market. It's not so much at what level the market's trading at, but just that there's enough liquidity in there. Now, he did go on to say that quarter two is probably going to see the worst numbers that's ever been seen before, but the market's forward looking, right? The market's looking forward to what quarter three, quarter four is going to look like. And it looks like at this point, the possibility that we're going to see some growth. More importantly, the Fed is there. Now, this sums up our current situation. This is by Sven at Northman Trader. And he said he's pointing out reality. The Fed is inflating a further asset bubble, is widening wealth inequality, disconnecting asset prices from the underlying size of the economy. And his sense is that we're setting up for a selling opportunity. And I do agree with that, but that's not going to be anytime soon. Let's look at what we are looking at right now. We're going to look at some of the trades that took place early this morning during the live stream New York session. If you're not yet following those and you are able, there's a link in the description below to a Telegram. I do alert everyone when I go live at 9 o'clock a.m. Monday through Friday. Early that morning, right now, I'm going to show you what we were looking at. And then we're going to fast forward into what happened after the Fed rate decision and then the press conference so that we could see it all taking shape. Now, during these S&P 500 sessions, we also look at past trades during the latest sessions. Now, over here, I'm going to show you what you're looking at these yellow lines. I'm going to remove them and then show you what transpired during the live session and the way that we were able to look at the S&P 500. The reason for going over these things is to really improve your ability to see things unfold in real time. The only way to do that is by going over past market structure, how it developed, how it unfolded. Let's take a look right now. First, we're going to start from the beginning. I'm going to back up over here. I'm going to drop down to the 1 hour, which is where we started this morning looking at this together. Now, we already reviewed this trade yesterday, the entry that was taking in yesterday's published S&P 500 video. And you could see that we came back up all the way past entry, took out stops and this resistance area over here at 28.89. We took that out overnight. This is what we were looking at going into the session this morning. And we noticed that if anyone was trading overnight, they had the opportunity over here to get long after this broken resistance was tested as support, and then price resumed up. Now, you might have also been doing that on the 30-minute time frame, and you could see if you were, your entry would have been a little bit lower. At that time of day, I would not be trading any lower than the 30-minute. Now, those were two possible entries. We saw then that price pre-market came up and took out this last bit of resistance. Here's what I want to show you what happens now going forward. Now, this was looked at during the live stream together. I'm just sharing what we all looked at because it's a really good learning experience for you right here. All right, dropping down to the 5-minute. This is where we were started watching price, and I'm going to show you exactly what we were looking at. Price was trading up here and started coming off, right? I went ahead and I pointed out this resistance over here in this area, and I added this yellow line over here. I said this is now our line of support. If price comes into this line, right, and then is able, after having already broken through the resistance, turned it into support, now trading higher than the last resistance, as price is coming down, I said now this is our local resistance turn support. If price is able to make a stand over here, hold this level and start resuming up, that is the entry. All right, so here we are. I want to show you what I had drawn in over here. This is really going to help you, and then find out what happened next. So this was the possible entry for all those who joined after the U.S. equities opened. Now, as this started developing, this is what we were looking at. Exactly like this. People were wondering, where do I put my stop? Right, we pointed out below here, below this broken resistance turn support where we took the entry off of. Price trades back below here. You're just wrong on the trade. It's time to get neutral until the FOMC. See what happens. Look forward to, and then we'll see what happens from there. At the same time, I also pointed out here is what's developing right now, and I drew in this triangle, right? And then the next thing that happened, price started coming up, tested the upper bound of that resistance over here. It broke through it. Once it broke through it, now at this point, you could go ahead and move your stop up to break even, right? Because if you then fail this breakout, you broke out over here. If it then fails, at that point, you're wrong on the trade. There's no need taking the full stop anymore. You're improving your risk to reward on the trade. You could see after the breakout, came back in, tested it, and then resumed upwards, right? You could see that. Then came in, I drew in this morning on the live stream also. I drew in this little light resistance at 29.47 to give us some type of idea of what we're facing above. But I also drew in this stronger. Let me show you where it is. Over here, I drew in a stronger. Oh, can't get a look at that, huh? Over here at 29.76, I drew in and showed why, where is the stronger resistance that we're looking for. We'll see if that comes into play after the FOMC announcement or not. That's coming up in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and continue this session with you after we get that out of the way. Now, after the rate decision, price started immediately coming down. You could see it over here. I did note inside our Telegram, our Conquering Trading and Investing Telegram group, for those who are part of the training program, I did mention that this line over here, 29.29, as long as that holds, this is extremely bullish. And sure enough, it did hold, come out to take out the local high. We were right over here now when the press conference ended. And I said from here, being that nothing new was said, that the Fed has basically put the Fed put in play, meaning that no matter what, the Fed is going to have the back of the market, and that they're going to be super accommodative as they can. Powell was also really clear that he does see further difficult times ahead. He does believe that further help is going to be needed. That means from both the U.S. government as well as from the Fed itself. At this point, I said, now that the press conference is over, without anything further being introduced, we should go on to see further market highs. Right now, this is here at the close, right towards the close. We've seen, if you've noticed, the last 10 minutes of trading for about a week now, we've seen a lot of sell orders go through. That's what's happening right now. I want to take you into what we're looking at going forward from here. That's what we're all interested in. What levels could we lean off? What are we looking at? So let's just rewind a little bit. As long as we continue to hold 29.29, this is extremely bullish. Now, overall, after going ahead and taking out the heavy resistance at 28.89 and then flipping it to support, closing well above it today, this is overall, we now have a very bullish bias in the markets. And that doesn't mean we can't trade both ways. But right now, we are only looking at trading on the long side. There's no way we're going to step in front of this and try to fade it. Not right now, at least. Now, I have to warn you, I have to caution you. It is the possibility. Oftentimes, you have to watch the Asian session. You have to watch the Asian session after a FOMC rate decision. If there's going to be a reversal, you're going to see it happen sometime around the Asian Open or the first hour of trading. Do be alert for that. Do watch that. That's why I trade the S&P 500 via my FX broker because I'm able to trade 23 hours a day. I'm not locked into market hours, and it gives me an enormous advantage. Nevertheless, right now, as long as this level over here at 29.29 holds, extremely bullish. I'll show you what type of resistance we have above us. And then even still holding over here, this was what we looked at this morning. This was the support we leaned off this morning. As long as 29.10 holds, extremely bullish, right? We have to close below 28.89. We have to close below this level in order to all of a sudden really say, okay, we now need to have and flip back to a bearish bias. Nothing wrong with that. What the market gives, we take. We're flexible. Overhead, I went ahead and I looked early this morning, back when we were just breaking 28.89, and I looked what was any overhead resistance. The first area of interest that I saw is coming over here at 29.83. You could see it over here. This was support. Over here it was resistance. Again, over here on this candle right here, it was also resistance. That's the level I'm looking at above. I want to see how price reacts over there. That's a place, if you're currently in a trade, and we do trade up into there, to look to go ahead and take profit. So if you're not into a trade right now, you do want to stay neutral after everything that took place today. Give the market until tomorrow morning, where we could figure out what's going on in New York and the best place to position in. You could see right now in YSA, if you're not involved in a trade, you should not go ahead and chase after this. You could see that we have the strong resistance above us and the support below us, and you're kind of in no man's land. So unless you were able to get one of these long entries today, then at this point you should stay on the sidelines, wait for further clarification. Listen, we now have a bullish bias. All pullbacks until support we're looking to buy. It's not that we won't sell any resistance or any price action that all of a sudden turns bearish, but that's not happening today. Today we've had a very important level of heavy resistance taken out at 28.89. This has flipped my bias to bullish now. Not that I wasn't playing both sides before, as well as the Fed is completely behind the market. I do expect that we do run into some further trouble down the line. At this point, I would have to say, if I were to speculate, that it might not be into September or end October. We might see a big second wave of infections around that time. If schools are opened up, kids are going back to school, the virus will start spreading. That is the first area, September, October, that I'm looking for a possible, as well as it's renowned for big market sell-offs. That's the first area that I will be looking right now. As long as we're holding this resistance, the strong resistance flipped into strong support today, I'm extremely bullish. We have further upside things to worry about. We got really, really strong resistance again coming up higher. We will take a look at the market. That's something we will be leaning into if price retraces down. And again, I hope this is helpful for you. I know I enjoy, you know what? I have to be honest with you. I look forward to reading all of the comments posted on the videos. I really look forward to them. I am actually getting the best information I get from the day, from your insight, the discussions going on inside the comments. Every single comment left by everyone I read and take to heart, and I appreciate it. Listen, if you haven't already hit the like button, do go ahead and support the channel. If you appreciated this video, if you learned anything in this video, go ahead, smash that like button, help support the channel. And listen, I'll see you tomorrow.